Hello and welcome back to Sport on 7. I'm Tom Bushell and you can get me on Twitter. It's at Tom Bushell UAE to find me. Right, big results to come. We're talking the Rolex Shanghai Masters and of course the Korean Formula 1. First though, I'm with Chris McHardy to talk local sports over the last 7 days. Yes, back outside and a little bit cooler as well, which is good to know and a bit more comfortable to be sat outside this week. Chris McHardy from Sport 360 joins me as we talk sport locally over the past 7 days. It's been another busy week in the UAE, and let's start with football because Mahdi Ali, third game in charge, lost one, won one, and now drawn one as well.
Yes, Tom, as you rightly point out, a 2-2 draw for Mahdi Ali, a draw against Uzbekistan on Friday night at the Al Maktoum Stadium down at Al Shabab, and a game with missed opportunities. They led twice the UAE, twice Uzbekistan came back at them. And really a game, you must say, for Al Wada. 2 goal scorers from the Abu Dhabi club. Ismail Matar back after he missed Mahdi Ali's first 2 games through injury. It was he that opened the scoring and it was he that set up the goal for his club teammate Saeed Al-Katheri. He's had a mixed time over the past 2 years, but the young striker coming good. 3 goals in his first 5 games this season. He looked good on the night and as you rightly say, a positive result for the UAE. There's been a lot talked about them going into the Gulf Cup this coming January in Bahrain. Many people picking them as the favourites. And really looking at that result, a 2-2 draw against an Uzbekistan side who finished 4th at the Asian Cup last year. So everything's looking good for the UAE.
And talking of Uzbekistan, well, it is Uzbekistan who have been drawn against the UAE for the qualifiers of the Asian Cup, which will be happening in 2015 in Australia, and the UAE will be hoping to go into that in confident mood, won't they?
Yeah, and as UAE boss Mahdi Ali has said this week, all these friendlies are building up towards that competition. Yes, we've got the Gulf Cup in January, but really it's the big one, 2015 in Australia, the Asian Cup, and a favourable qualifying draw for the UAE alongside Uzbekistan, by far and away the toughest team in that group, as well as Hong Kong and Vietnam. UAE, of course, will be confident of the latter two teams who have failed to reach the Asian Cup finals in the past. But UAE have to be very careful. They reached Qatar last year, the finals in Qatar. No goals, no wins under Shreko Katanic. But the side's evolved since then. A lot of young players now in that squad who names we've mentioned in the past few weeks. So Ali's will be very confident of reaching the finals down under, and fingers crossed with a good Gulf Cup nations next year that they go into that tournament very confident indeed.
Mahdi Ali now played 3, won 1, drawn 1 and lost 1. Not too bad, is it? Plenty to look forward to, hopefully, as well. Let's move on to tennis because, of course, not too long ago, Andy Murray confirmed himself to be playing Abu Dhabi in December of this year. However, in 2013, the losing finalist at Dubai has said that he won't be coming back to Dubai to hopefully get back to the final. That won't be happening for Andy Murray in 2013.
No Andy Murray, Tom, and a shame. As a fellow Scotsman, it'll be a shame not to see him here. You rightly pointed out he is back in Abu Dhabi in December, which is great for UAE fans, but no Andy Murray in Dubai, the duty free. I think it's February that tournament rolls into town. He's decided to give it a miss this year, as you rightly point out, beating finalist last year to Roger Federer. He's choosing not to come back. I think it's something to do with his preparation with the American hardcourt season. Indian Wells, of course, which is a 1,000, a Masters 1,000. Dubai still only a 500, so for ranking points as well, with Andy Murray eyeing that #1 spot, he's chosen to kind of keep his preparations in America. And of course Indian Wells as well, he did shockingly there last year, coming off the back of that wonderful performance here in Dubai. He lost out in the first round, so you can't blame him. He's obviously focusing, now that he's won that Grand Slam, now that he's won that gold medal at the Olympics, he's focusing on that #1 world spot, and by doing this he feels clearly he has the best chance of doing that.
Yes, well, of course, he is concentrating now on those big point tournaments because he has that carrot of the #1 spot in tennis in his sights, doesn't he? So who can blame him for going for the big ones? Chris McHardy from Sport 360, thank you once again so much. We'll be back next week with a roundup of the big stories locally. Lots to look forward to as well because there's a big announcement this week about the Abu Dhabi Golf Championship happening next year as well.
A massive announcement. 2 of the world's top 10 set to be announced this week, and it all points to a very, very big tournament in January, and I look forward to watching that one.
Looking forward to the names. We'll bring you all the latest next week on Sport on 7. Big results for you then, and let's start with tennis. Andy Murray failed in his bid to make it a hat-trick of titles at the Shanghai Masters after losing a 3-set thriller to Novak Djokovic. In their first meeting since Murray's win at the US Open final, Djokovic won the game 5-7, 7-6, 13-11 in the tiebreak, and then 6-3 in the third. Murray edged the first set, which had 7 breaks of serve, with Djokovic reacting angrily by smashing a racket. Djokovic saved 5 match points in the second set before taking the tiebreak and breaking Murray twice in the third. Formula 1 now, and Red Bull's Sebastian Vettel took a dominant victory in the Korean Grand Prix to take the World Championship lead off Ferrari's Fernando Alonso. Vettel's victory was his 3rd in a row, and it makes him the first driver to win 4 races this season. Teammate Mark Webber was 2nd ahead of Alonso. Vettel has a 6-point lead over the Spaniard with 4 races to go. Lewis Hamilton's title hopes are effectively over after his McLaren struggled to 10th. There we go. That's the big results for you this week and all the sport we can fit into 30 minutes on Sport on 7. Next time, we will be looking forward to the Abu Dhabi Golf Championship because there is a big announcement this week. We'll bring you all the latest next week on Sport on 7. Have a great week. I'm Tom Bushell. Goodbye.